Well, good evening, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay? Go ahead and type yes in the chat box. I'm Brian Horvath with brianhorvath.com, and I'm excited to have you in the right place. How to make the right connections on LinkedIn, the super secret strategy that every LinkedIn user should know. Webinar. Woo woo. So glad you guys are here. Awesome. You can hear, you can see the text. What a great thing, right? I'm glad I put a quarter in the slot of my laptop here. We're off and running. So great. So this is going to be a live, about 50 so minute webinar, and then we'll have some Q&A at the end, and excited to have you guys all with us. Couple things just as we orient ourselves with the webinar room here. First and foremost, as you just mentioned to me, you can hear and you can see the screen, which is great. And then also, we're going to have a couple of ways to participate tonight. First will be the chat box, which we're already kind of engaging in. Secondly, will be some polls, as well as some things that flash on your screen. Like, for example, right now you'll see download worksheet. And if you don't have the webinar worksheet already, or workbook, whatever I put together here and submitted, go ahead and get that now by clicking that button. And depending on what device you're using, it should pop up in either a browser window or maybe another tab within your iPad or tablet. So let's do this, right? Let's get on with it. So how to make the right connections on LinkedIn. This is something that's very special to me because while I don't love LinkedIn as much as maybe others, I definitely love what it can be used for in many respects. And while we won't talk through all the uses tonight, we will talk through a couple of the main purposes, as well as ultimately the super secret strategy that I want you guys to know that I learned long ago, blended with other things I learned long ago, and it provides for this presentation tonight. So I'm giving you the best of the best that I have in 55 minutes, 55 minutes, and I really appreciate your investment of time. That's the only thing we can't get back, right, is our investment of time. And of course, I'm investing into you as well. And so together, I believe we're going to have a lot of fun. This will be high energy, and we'll get a lot done in a short amount of time. So everybody with me? Let's do this. So again, I'm Brian Horvath, and I started the Horvath Training Institute last year out as a result of really wanting to try to do some things, honestly, on my own. Ultimately, through a combination of the corporate background I have, sales and marketing, and a lot of mistakes, coupled with some ministry background I've done. I've worked for a nonprofit as well as executive director of a national career transition nonprofit, and then into doing side hustles and contract work in the career and personal finance space. Here we are presenting to you some of the best that I've learned over the 13 plus years of experience in career and finance coaching. And so really excited to share with you guys tonight. And so my motto or my mission for my ministry and for my company and for all that stuff over the years, I come to find out is really it's helping people like you and like me to know, live, and love the purpose for our career and finances. See, because I believe that our career and finances are not the purpose for living, but are tools to help us achieve the purpose. And I want to help us, and it's a constant learning for me, to know it, to live it, and to love it. And I believe LinkedIn fits right into that career space to help you maximize and make the right connections on LinkedIn. Because honestly, let's be real with each other. Connections are so important. Our friends, our family, our faith, our neighborhood, our community, our work, our colleagues, and I think all of us would agree that it's through connections that our career really goes forward and launches, and takes a new turn sometimes, and twists and turns. So really about making the right connections. It's using LinkedIn as the tool that it is to help you do that and to help you be successful in your career. Your definition of success, not mine, yours. So again, Brian Horvath, glad you're here. Let's do it. So webinar warm-up. This gets us involved. It gets people to come on. And let's ask a couple questions. So I'd love to know a little bit about you. Where were you born? Go ahead and use the chat box there and type in the chat box just to get us familiar with the process, get us thinking about things, get us getting to introduce each other in so much of a way that a webinar can do. So I was born in Pittsburgh, Kimberly, Pittsburgh. Awesome. Love it. West Mifflin for me. Mississippi, Pittsburgh, South Carolina, Florida. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So people from all over the place. I've had a chance to coach people on LinkedIn all throughout the world. which means I had to meet at certain times of the day that I normally wouldn't be up. That's what I'm saying about the power of LinkedIn. No matter where you're at or where you're going, where you want to go, or what you've done, there are so many powerful opportunities on LinkedIn. Over 600 million people use LinkedIn. And since Microsoft took it over, it's gotten even better as far as the user interface and user experience goes, which for back in the day, a lot of people are like, ugh, this thing is clunky. I don't know how to use it, blah, 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 blah. Well, Microsoft has a lot of things to help you overcome that objection. It makes it a lot more fun to play in the playground, which excites me because I'm an outgoing, expressive kind of person. Anyway, Connecticut, cool, good stuff. So where were you born? Okay, so tell me, what's your favorite genre of music? Favorite genre of music? For me, it's jazz. I love jamming to some jazz, from Miles Davis to Coleman Hawkins to some of that old school stuff to even some of the new funk stuff. I love jazz, and I love music except for a couple things, but jazz is one of my favorites. So what are some of your favorites? Go ahead and put it in the chat box. Contemporary Christian, cool stuff, Cindy. And gospel, okay, good. Some soul going on there. I love this stuff. This is kind of like the most fun because some of these things I want to help you represent in your LinkedIn profile. Contemporary gospel. So we took contemporary Christian and gospel, and we come up with contemporary gospel. Sounds like we're working as a team here. Good stuff. So fun. All right. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Next, what do you believe? And now we're getting into the nitty gritty here. What do you believe is holding you back from making the right connections on LinkedIn? What's holding you back? Said another way, why are you here? What do you hope to get out of tonight's presentation, tonight's webinar? Put that in the chat box. That's really going to help me address you in a personal way, and probably others here in a little bit. So while you're doing that, thinking about what's holding you back from making the right connections on LinkedIn, want to remind you one more time, if you haven't done already, go ahead and download the worksheet that the button should be at the top of your screen, top right-hand side of your screen. Go ahead and grab that. Okay, so looks like no one wants to answer that question. So just think about it. It's all good because later on when we do Q&A, it's going to help you the best. Oh, here's a couple. John says, still no sound on my end. Can the rest of you guys hear? It sounds like you can. Can the rest of you hear? Go ahead and say yes. And sorry, John, sometimes it's a little challenging depending on what's going on with your maybe an iPad or phone or computer. And the kind of people I want to reach, I'm called to minister to women. Okay, saying we want to help you do that. Some folks can hear. So, John, maybe on your end, I experienced that the other day, and I know it can be frustrating as all get out. Keep in mind, guys, if you miss any of this, we'll have a replay that goes out to you as well. So that is a benefit both for re-listening, but also catching up on what you may have missed. So, John, take another look at that, and we can try to, hopefully that works itself out, my friend, or try a different device. That could be an opportunity for you as well. All right. Thanks, guys, for helping me help you make the right connections. So here we are again, how to make the right connections on LinkedIn. Super secret strategy that every LinkedIn user should know. Because really, folks, this is not about, do you know technology? This is not about if you know how to write the best resume ever, or you know exactly what you want to do next in your career, or whether you're introverted or extroverted. It does not matter. This is not about that. That's not going to be the super secret revelation. You know, it's about some secret things I'm going to tell you about that maybe we just glance over and forget about. So I want to help you make the right connections. And how we're going to do that, and I call it, how do we work this webinar? I'm going to share with you two main purposes for LinkedIn. The super secret strategy revealed, drum roll please, how to apply, not just learning, not just discovering, but also learning and discovering to understand. How do you take it and actually apply it, right? So how do we apply the super secret strategy? Give you some great next steps beyond our 50 minutes tonight, and then help you cultivate an unfair advantage using what you've learned tonight plus next steps. It's going to be awesome. So you're going to enjoy that. All right. So this is where you might want to get out your notebook or take little notes in the margins of your worksheet that you downloaded. LinkedIn's two main purposes are very close together, but they are different when you position yourself so. Number one, LinkedIn's first main purpose, and I'm sure most of us think about it unless you're a recruiter. So if you're a everyday Joe or Jane like me, then the first purpose you want to consider and know about is LinkedIn is meant for you to go connect with people and opportunities. So, Brian, what do you mean? Well, first of all, there's people you're going to want to connect with, whether they're like mind, like valued, things like that. Okay? Like mind, like valued. Those are one of the first main purposes is to connect with people. Another one is for you to connect with opportunities. So you want to connect with opportunities. That means they're not people per se, but they're people that have potential jobs for you or have other kind of connections through them that you may not have had on your own. Maybe there's a nonprofit that you can go work with or work for. All those kinds of things. Okay. The second thing that you want to have and is a main purpose, or understand that's a main purpose, is you want people and opportunities to connect with you. People and opportunities to connect with you, which means you're going to work on your profile in such a way that people are going to look for people just like you. So while you're out there searching high or low, they're also searching high or low. And somewhere in the middle, you're going to meet, which means we need to know how to use a super secret strategy I'm going to tell you about. Because while you're out there searching, while you're out there looking, you're also working on your profile in such a way that people who are looking for people like you and opportunities that are out there that would suit people like you will find you, which means you don't have to do all the work. But when you put yourself in a position to serve and be served, you're going to win. And that's what these are about. You is the first one. You're connecting. You're looking for opportunities. The second one is you're positioned in such a way that people and opportunities are looking for you. So that gets us to our super secret strategy. Super secret strategy. So remember Super Mario Brothers? Some of you may remember that or seen that. So this is back. We started at Donkey Kong, little Mario as a plumber with his dungarees on or whatever those are called. And then he made it up to his own video game when Nintendo became all big and famous and stuff, from the arcade to the home console. Well, in one of those games, I can particularly remember Super Mario 3, is where Super Mario go bouncing around. He can do a couple things here or there, but he didn't quite have all the pep in the step and the power until he ate this little mushroom that looked just like you see on your screen. And then he would, you'd hear this sound as soon as he ate it, like, and it'd get bigger. And now all of a sudden, Mario's like crushing things, man. He's blowing stuff up, crushing blocks, defeating his enemies, even in some cases throwing fireballs and stuff. He had the super secret strategy. He became Super Mario, not just Mario. So I want to share with you what that is so you can use it for LinkedIn. So here it is. It's not that difficult. It's so easy. We often miss it because we're so caught up in ourselves. Hello, me included. I'm captain of iloveme.com. Right? I think about me all day.com or whatever you want to call it. What's in it for me? You never heard of that? WIIFM. What's in it for me? But what we need to do, depending on where we're at, is flip our script and make sure LinkedIn shows that. You want to take what used to be about you and you want to make it about you and others. And how you can do that is taking a seek to serve approach. The game-changing philosophy for your career. The game-changing philosophy for your career. So that's the pivot we need to make. That word comes up a lot today, right? That's the function we need to have, is that we're not looking just out for ourselves. We're looking to take ourselves and apply service to others by seeking to serve. And you can show that on LinkedIn in such a way that boils down kind of like this. There are problems out there that need to be solved. And you have skills and abilities to solve those problems. You're the problem solver. Problem exists. You come to solve it. You're now Super Mario, superhero. Crush the problem, right? Blow it up, crush it, disintegrate it, whatever you want to call it, by being super and having that super secret strategy. That's what I want to share with you. Problem gets solved because you're involved, right? Problem gets solved because you're involved. It's not a problem as it is as much as an opportunity, and not an obstacle, but an opportunity for you to solve a problem for someone else. And that helps you have tremendous value. Super secret strategy. You say, well, I got that, Brian. It's pretty elementary. Got it, you say? Well, I say, but you might be asking, how and with what do I serve? And that's where some people get hung up. That's great, Brian. I'm pretty sure I'm good for something, but what is that something? And It's not the same as what it used to be in the past, or I want to go a different direction now. So all those things, especially in times of crisis like we are in today, those things come up. Or maybe you're finally done with being done, or some people might say sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you want to do something else, but you're not feeling so super. I'm here to remind you that you are a masterpiece. You have super in you. And there are things waiting for you to solve them if you just position yourself to seek to serve. Okay, so again, another reminder. Do you have the webinar worksheet? Because what we're about to do, you're going to need it, or you're going to want to have it. Okay? Awesome. So what do I do best? Ask yourself that question. That's going to help you realize how you can serve. That's going to help you realize how you can serve. Your resume or your LinkedIn profile may say a lot of that, but is it saying in such a glaring, ringing the bell way that lets people know that you are a problem solver? I would happen to guess not. Now, we could all use a tweaking. Some of us need a big overhaul. Some of us don't have a profile at all. I get all of that. Some of us just need to make a little quarter turn, not a whole overdo or redo. But where it needs to start is, what do you do best? So take a moment, write it down. I'm going to pause, take a sip of my coffee that I probably shouldn't have this late. And I want you to write down what you do best. And then type 1 or 2 in the chat box. Okay, great. I put a couple. I put public speaking, content creation, encourager. A couple of you, someone put Cindy, teach and mentor. And for those of you, there we go. Cool. I want to see some of these come in. Serve and encourage others. And for some of you that may be a little bit more introverted, I'm not, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But how might someone else describe you? Or what has been a way that someone else has told you something that you're good at? Oh, great. Charity, connect others. Melissa, serve and encourage, teach and mentor. So cool, guys. So cool. Help others solve technical problems. Awesome, Daniel. That's fantastic. Because man, we're going to help you call that out real nice and easy. Highly organized, brand strategy. Awesome, Kimberly. Great stuff, guys. We need to remember this. For those of you who don't think about this often, remember what you do best. Check this out. So you did the answer in your chat box. Here are what some people said. And again, these are all good, what you all said. Some other things is, if you were to brainstorm and taking that sheet on the side and said, I'm going to think about this for a little longer. I'm going to do about 10 to 20 what I do best. And here's what some people said over the years: problem solving, building teams, computer design, drafting, robotics, or some technical stuff there, maintenance and repair. I ain't fixing nothing. I'll break it. If I can't fix it, it takes me triple the time as some that are more technically able, and being a guy, I'm like, I don't want someone else to fix it for me. I will do it. I must do it. Right. Then there's some on the other side, a little bit more soft skills, conflict resolution, leadership, teamwork, social flexibility. And there's one. There's one I forgot on the left-hand side, making people laugh. Isn't humor a good thing? Isn't it a good thing, especially like today? Like, we need some laughter, right? That is sometimes the grease on the skids to get the company or the organization moving. And so just want to encourage you, if you have that, use it. Of course, use it respectfully and tactfully and all that stuff, of course, but not to worry about you guys with that. But ultimately, seeing what you do best and considering and remembering that we're called to seek to serve, that's going to help you get the most results. Now, take that, and on the other side of the equation about seeking to serve is, who needs most what you do best? In other ways, who needs it most? What do you do best? Who needs it most? So go ahead in the chat box or on your piece of paper or both. Tell me, who needs most what you do best? Who needs most what you do best? And if you could be as specific as possible Oh, fantastic. Daniel, great. Building owner says. So property managers, great. Let's get a couple more before we move on. So let's get a couple more. Who needs most what you do best? Okay, great. Terry, thank you. Companies seeking to hire talent and job seekers. Fantastic. Now, if there's certain industries, be specific as possible. Those things are going to serve us well when we get into some of the LinkedIn discussion a little bit later. But this is the equation, folks. I mean, what do I do best? Or if you flip it, who needs it the most? That's the problem. Who needs the most is the problem that those kinds of people experience. And if that matches with what you do best, then we have a match made in heaven, right? And Cindy says, because Cindy wants to minister to women uh, in her walk with Christ, her Christian faith, she says, anyone who wants to grow in their relationship with Christ. Okay. But I even like specifically, Cindy, what you said earlier, women who want to grow in the relationship with Christ, or maybe women, and I'm just making this up, 35 to 55, really kind of thinking about that and drilling that down deep as and wide as you can go. Okay, so here's an overview of what that may look like, right? And so if you're kind of stuck there a little bit, or some folks haven't replied just yet, but that's okay. What do you do best? Who needs it the most? Well, who needs it the most can be, for-profits, of course, nonprofits, schools and universities, entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs. I am one. Some of you are probably on this call, domestic or foreign organizations. And of course, today there's a blend of virtual or in office. Do you like to be in a car? Do you like to be in the air? Do you like to be, where do you want to be? Those are things to consider as you position yourself seeking to serve. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Oh, Cindy, love it. Specifically those who are coming out of sex trafficking. Okay, very specific, much needed, sorry to say, but hugely specific and well done on that. So huge, huge opportunity there for you. This is what sums it up. Knowing what you do best and sharing it with those who need it the most is seeking to serve. Now, you might say, Brian, it's really elementary. Well, indeed it is. But it's something we need to remember when it comes to what does our profile look like? How are we writing it? How are we formatting it? How are we taking it to the marketplace, if you will? How are we taking it to people that should see it, right? Seeking to serve mindset and philosophy will break the chains of the old line of thinking and help you make the new or the right connections with those on LinkedIn and also in person. So online or in person, knowing what you do best and sharing it with those who need it the most. Got it? Good. Let's move forward. So what I would encourage you to do is continue, as we just drew that out of you a little bit in a short amount of time, is seeking to serve or find a coach can help you continue to seek to serve and help you grow. It's like one of my favorite phrases, to grow and go, share your light with others, right? Remember that old song, like, I'm going to let my light shine, or I got a light and let it shine, right? So we all have a light. And that's kind of the idea with this graphic here is that let's light it up. Let's get it out because it's meant to shine. And that's what seeking to serve does. We all know that. We all know that when you seek to serve someone, they may not get it right away, right? They may see it as disingenuous or they're not sure or they're hesitant. But after a while, when they see you consistently serving, that opens up the floodgates of so many opportunities to solve those problems we talked about earlier. So how do we now take this super secret strategy and apply it? Kind of like a paintbrush, right? Here's the multicolors, manifold colors, many colors. How do we apply this thing? I'm going to show you 7 ways. So 1, know your keywords. LinkedIn is a search engine, right? It's super rich in keywords. It's meant to be used as such. Not using it as such will harm your, will put harm in your way when you go to make the most in LinkedIn, using LinkedIn. So you want to know your keywords. You want to know those keywords. 2, we're going to use those keywords and you want to take them and maximize your profile. And there's a whole bunch of stuff we'll talk about in a minute. 3, we're going to show you how to create your own group with this super secret strategy. 4, help you to build your network on LinkedIn. 5, teach you, if you don't already, know how to back up your contacts, which is important. 6, help you optimize your conversion. So many folks get on LinkedIn, but they're not converting next steps. They're like, well, what's the point? Well, let's help you convert. That's important. And then we're going to give you a way to set yourself up to seek to serve. Number seven. Okay. So 7 steps to make the right connections. 7 steps. Know your keywords. Know your keywords. One more time. Know your keywords. And what those are meant to do is I want to help you think like a recruiter. I want you to think like a recruiter. So reverse engineer the whole process. Remember the 2 main purposes of LinkedIn. One is for you to go out and connect with people and opportunities. But there are also people out there, i.e. recruiters, and that those folks, headhunters, et cetera, hiring managers at companies, CEOs, vice presidents, you name it. Whoever has the power, business owners, and the money to hire. You want to think like them. And you want to reverse engineer the search, because main purpose number 2 is there are people and opportunities looking to connect with you. And once you put yourself in that way or in that path, it's going to be a blessing to you and a blessing to those who you're serving, right? So how are recruiters searching for you? Now, this stuff can be subject to change, but as of right now, when you go to the top of your LinkedIn profile or screen, right underneath that top banner is you'll see, or right on top of that top banner, you'll see search. Well, when you click on search, you have an opportunity to go to an advanced search. Okay. An advanced search will allow you to use it like a recruiter does. Now, recruiters pay for LinkedIn. They use LinkedIn in such a major way that what they want and what they pay for, they get. And so, again, we want to play into that strategy. We want to know what that strategy is. We want to know how to use it. And we want to know how to make our profile so rich with keywords that match up with what we do best, matching those keywords up with those who need it the most. Is it starting to click a little bit now? So if the recruiter or someone like that is the one that's going to hire you, we need to be sticky or attractive to them. We need to use words or terminology or things in our profile that will stand out. Used to be just like a resume, right? A resume back in the day, you said certain things, you had keywords in your resume that it would get to the top of the stack, hopefully on the recruiter's desk. Well, today we have all these application tracking systems and things get weeded out like no tomorrow. So good luck if it ever gets seen, your resume, that is. And you take your resume, you take your LinkedIn profile, and you put them together like blocks, and you got a team effort here of going out and using those 2 tools to your advantage. And there's other tools, but these are 2 major tools. So anyway, with your resume or with your LinkedIn, by the way, not the same thing. We want to make sure that we think like a recruiter, think like they think. And they're going to search for things like where you're from, what location that job is in, okay? What keywords they would search for based on who might be able to suit their job they're opening the best. You want to have those. What kind of industries? What kind of schooling, right? What kind of past experiences? All those things you need to have in your profile to a certain degree. And let's talk about some of those. And remember, you want to be what? You want to be on the recruiter's short list. I kind of just said that. Top of the stack, short list, top screen 1 or page 1 of their search results when they go into LinkedIn and start searching for someone like you. But they're using keywords. You need to know that. And the reason is so they can contact you. It's like, duh. So they can contact you today, because recruiters, hiring managers, they got a burning problem, right? We just said that. It needs solved. And you're the person to solve it possibly. So make sure you're A, on the short list. B, you're seeking to serve, or flip that. A, seeking to serve. B, on the short list. And let's get you hired. So that's what you need to do. Think like a recruiter. And there are 2 sets of keywords. 2 sets of keywords you need to know about. Primary and secondary. Primary and secondary. Pretty simple. Okay. We don't have time to get into all that tonight, the details, but you'll see where that flows through the rest. So number 1 was know your keywords. Number 2, maximize your profile. And maximize your profile's potential. I have one? Great. Are you using it? Maybe, right? So I hear from a lot of people, I don't know how to use it, or I'm a little concerned because what if I'm looking for a new job? I don't want someone to see. And there's all kinds of ways to make that be the best of both worlds. Where you're working, where you want to go. We can mix those together. You'll see in a second. And it's about maximizing your profile. The first thing is keyword scoring. You need to understand, you need to know your keywords we just talked about, but then you understand they have weight assigned to them. There's a matter of importance. keywords have in certain places in your profile. So imagine it was like a puzzle, right? There's certain pieces that link you to other pieces. And certain pieces, once you have that piece, takes you to the other piece. And if you're like me, you kind of start at the bottom right-hand corner where it says copyright 2020 and the company that made the puzzle. Helps me get my footing, right? So that, or maybe the border, right? You kind of start there. Well, that's what we need to understand here. There's certain pieces of the LinkedIn puzzle that are more important than others. And so I learned this from my friend Greg Wells, who was a recruiter for many years and a friend of mine. He taught me a lot of what I'm sharing with you tonight. Like I said, I made it my own over the years, but he showed me this LinkedIn scoring mechanism he came up with. This isn't exactly the point structure, but this shows the weight or the value or the importance of keywords that you have in certain places within your profile. So when you open up your profile, you see this long list of stuff, right? You got your headline, you got your about, or used to be called the summary. You got your job titles, you got your media you've shared, you got your posts you might have made, you got all this stuff. Well, that can be overwhelming if you're not sure where to work. And I'm going to share with you where to work, and it's right here in front of you. A keyword is worth 1 point when it's in the body of your profile. What I mean by that is when it's in like a job. Say you were a customer service manager at a call center in Chicago. Well, great. So you, of course, answered phones, or you try to optimize or maximize your personnel's response time or their email delivery time or whatever. You might say that in a bullet under your job title that you had in your LinkedIn profile. That's only worth 1 point. People spend a lot of time on their resume on those things, but here on LinkedIn, not saying it's unimportant, but it's only worth 1 point. So consider that. And real quick, I'll say again, resume is not your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not your resume. Two different things working together to help you solve those problems that are out there for people. Next, 10 points. So 10 times the weight of the keyword in the body is in the about, which I have here summary. It's called about. It's right at the top. It flips sometimes. In your skills or in your headline, 10 points. Now we start looking at job titles. Shows a work history, right? Job title, your keywords in your job titles from the past, 20 points. In your current job title, 40 points, 40 times the importance of the keyword in the body. You need to know that. You need to remember that. In the top point placements, as it looks visually here, kind of just took a little snapshot. My headline right there up top, my current title that's in there, it's kind of under experience up here, okay? And past title, skills and endorsements, and of course, like I said, the summary or the about section. That's where you're going to find most of your keywords you're going to focus on. What I want to help people do normally out of the gate, if someone said, Brian, can you look at my profile? What do you think? I'm looking at that headline first. It's not worth the most amount of points, but that's the first place your keyword phrase comes up. Now, notice we didn't get into keyword phrase tonight. We don't have the time for a webinar of this timeline. But, coaching, I can help you with that. But Refine Your Headline takes 4 keywords and puts them into not a sentence, but keyword phrase that you use to start your headline. And I'm going to show you here in a second. So your keyword phrase goes in your title. People go, well, it's not your past job title. It's not your current job title. What I try to help people do with their headline is make it so good that those who are looking for someone like you will read further down your LinkedIn profile because they like what they saw in the headline. Just like your newspaper, just like the clickbait that's on the side of Facebook or your social media, or that comes up in Google search. It's your headline pulls people in. It makes it sticky. It promotes curiosity, and you want people to see that and then go further down. Well, the way to do that is come up with a seek to serve headline, where you take your keyword phrase that shares what you do best, and then you apply it to an expertise statement that allows you to cheat a little bit and also direct the right kind of people to continue to read down your profile. So let's take this person's keyword phrase. This person was in sales at an automotive company. They sold, I think it was Hyundai. Okay. But they wanted to be a sales manager. They had many years of sales experience, but they wanted to be a manager, which meant they also had to be a leader because they were going to manage people and processes. Okay. And then he wanted to stay in the automotive industry. So this is the 4 keyword phrase that this person came up with: sales manager, leadership, automotive. Notice how manager is not what he's doing, but what he wants to do. So your headline is a blend of what you do best, coupled with some titles around people that what you want to that positions you want to hold, and then in industry that you want to be in. Now, his expertise statement is futuristic as well. At Hyundai, he worked on some of the best sports offerings that Hyundai had. But he wanted to go further than that. He wanted to get into foreign luxury sports cars. So let's put like Porsche, or maybe even high-end Lexus, or what else? Maserati, okay? So that is where that person wanted to be a sales manager in leadership within automotive, but focusing on his love and expertise in foreign luxury sports cars, not SUVs. And here's the refining of the headline. Instead of just saying, I manage this store in his headline, he's saying, I'm a sales manager with leadership in the automotive industry, and I have expertise and focus in foreign luxury sports cars. Go ahead and type headline in the chat box if you get that. Type headline in the chat box if you get that. That's huge for you to be able to share not only online and on LinkedIn, but in person. Kind of sounds a little bit like an elevator pitch, which freaks people out, but it doesn't have to, because when you know what you do best and you are ready to share it with those who need it the most, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words. 12 words. You can do it. You can get that elevator pitch down that you've been struggling with for so long. It's actually just your LinkedIn headline. And just kind of a joke, let's say you go to a networking function when we're not quarantined anymore, and you just kind of quickly look at your LinkedIn profile and go, okay, there's my elevator pitch. So just keep that in mind, guys, and try to make it simple with you. These things go hand in hand in your whole next steps in your career, no matter where you want to go. And no matter if you're employed or unemployed, no matter where you want to go, this will help you take the next steps. Now, here's his profile. John Smith, sales manager, leadership, automotive with expertise in foreign luxury sports cars. Right here at the top of his profile. This doesn't say what he's currently doing. He's working at Tampa Hyundai now, but that's not what he wants to stay doing. It doesn't offend his boss. It doesn't offend his leadership. This is what this person's doing currently and wants to do even more of. Heck, it could happen at the same firm. You don't know that. And obviously, different strokes for different folks. We may have to tweak yours just a little bit depending on where you want to go. And again, that's something that coaching can provide. So this is my personal headline. Brian Horvath, speaker, consultant, life coach, helping people to know, live, and love the purpose for their career and finances. So my 4 keywords are speaker, consultant, life coach. And those can be searched by a recruiter in any number of ways. Doesn't have to be the exact order. If someone went and searched for a couple of those words, a recruiter, a headhunter, you name it, maybe someone looking to hire a speaker. So for me, it's like event planners or HR professionals in an organization, or a training development person in an organization wants to hire me to help them and their people with their personal finances or career development, or whatever the case may be. They search for those kinds of things. I'm going to come up. Which is why I'm focused on those keywords in my headline. Okay, great. This is a lot of upfront because it's important. The headline rains down that keyword strategy. Let me back up even further. Seek to serve, keyword strategy, put it in the headline. The headline drives the rest of the profile. Now, here's a secret. Here's a secret that I learned from my friend Greg that nobody seems to know about unless they're in this kind of environment. Or this kind of, talk about the subject matter all the time, or have been through one of the workshops that I do. It's called the LinkedIn lever. The LinkedIn lever is based on a former lead programmer quote by Esteban Kozak, that every search result, so someone's doing a search for people like you, people like me, every search result that they do is evaluated by LinkedIn in its algorithm based on who's doing the search. So let me talk more about that. I'm going to give it to you. So the LinkedIn lever is a couple gears working together. One is the keyword strategy that we've talked about. The second is our network, which we're going to talk about in a second. The third is relevancy, this thing called relevancy that really works the algorithm that I just showed you, or the quote from the developer. So relevancy is this. It's words that somebody that is searching. So let's take a circle over here of people that may be searching for people like you and me. Recruiters, headhunters, CEOs, vice presidents, hiring managers, chief marketing officers, any C-suite. Doesn't matter. Restaurant managers, someone that's going to hire someone for a speaking gig. You name it. Anyone that's looking to solve that problem, they're out there searching for someone like you that has a solution, right? They have a LinkedIn profile. And they have words in their LinkedIn profile that are keywords. You want to have those same keywords in your profile like they have in theirs. That helps you connect with that person even higher, at a higher level. It will bump up you in the search results at like 25% clip. When you have the right keywords and you have a large network and you have words in your profile like the person that was searching for you has in theirs, that's going to just take you higher and higher, okay, in the search results. That's called the LinkedIn lever. These three things, these gears working together, help you to pull the lever to be found. It's like going to a networking event, and it's a let's say it's a medical or healthcare industry networking event. And it's past the cocktail hour, and they say, all right, we're going to break up. People that are medical devices going to go into room 300. People that are nurses and on the floor, doctors, things like that, they're going to go room 600. Any operating room folks, room 900. Well, just by being called out by a certain title or frame of where they serve, they get put into a different room to have a conversation that's going to be relevant, right? That's kind of what relevancy is like. It's having connectivity in your profile that allows you to be called out to the right kind of room, to have your profile on the top of the search results. That's important. You need to find out how to do that. Where do you put these lever? Well, the lever's keywords, certain keywords, like I said, you want to put these in your about section. And there's some workarounds. These relevant words and verbiage, you would want them in your profile, like I said, with the kind of person that would be searching for you on LinkedIn. So two profiles put together, find a lot of linkage. That's what you're looking for. That's the term, LinkedIn. So why? Well, what we talked about earlier. So your profile is on the top of the stack. So you need to know how to pull that lever. There it is. Take a screenshot of that. Don't forget the LinkedIn lever. 7 steps. We're back to the 7 steps. So we did the first 2. Those take the bulk of our time. I want to share with you a little hidden secret that will help you maximize the point value that LinkedIn allows. Remember, we talked about earlier that your current job title is the most important, right? It was worth 40 times the amount of the job, previous job or current job's bullet pointed description. So your current job title is the most important. It's worth 40 points. Well, here's the problem. When you don't have a current job title that you can have as like a present job, from XYZ date to present within your profile, you get dinged for that. And it's unfortunate, but you do. It doesn't mean you're worthless. You have a ton of stuff going on. You have a ton of stuff. You're super duper, right? You got all you need to help the next person. But for some reason, the algorithm works in a way negatively against you if you don't have a current job title. Well, here's the way to work against that. It's called create a group. And you can create a group in your LinkedIn profile that allows you to leverage those point value assignments or point value totals. Now, for example, for me, I have a group that I lead every Wednesday morning. I have a business mastermind group that I lead every morning. Well, that's in there as a group that I lead. Okay. It's also a LinkedIn group, but I don't have to worry about that as much because I have a current job title. However, I do have 3 current job titles. I have my business. I also lead for a career ministry in town in the Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg area. And I do volunteer work for them. And then I have my group that I lead. Okay. So I have multiple titles. You can too, no matter what kind of work you're doing, whether it's volunteer or if it's for pay, that can help you share what you do best with those who need it the most and get the point value. But if you don't have a current job title, you're kind of stuck, you create a group. Right? So go ahead and type group in the chat box. That is a cool little strategy for you to help anybody out in that is in need, that you share this information with. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of what people have said about my coaching, my LinkedIn coaching, because at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can get connected with me for some coaching opportunities. So this is Lyle. Lyle said, Brian was very knowledgeable and friendly. He covered all 7 steps quickly. I love that one because there's a lot to get a hold of, and succinctly, which is awesome. He wasn't rushed, but definitely moved at a nice, quick pace that allows us to cover all the information completely. Karen said, Brian was very knowledgeable and explained not only what he was doing, but why. Very friendly and easy to work with. And by the way, that is not my mom. My mom is also Karen H., but that is not her. My mom does not have a LinkedIn profile. So I just thought that was funny the other day. I looked at it, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I love doing this stuff, guys, because these are simple tweaks in your career that can not only boost your confidence, launch your career or launch a business if you're starting one, but also just help you in that next place. Help you in that next place you want to go. All right, back to the regular schedule programming. 7 steps to make the right connections. Build your network. Well, just like anywhere and anything, it's not what you know, it's who you know. LinkedIn is no different. LinkedIn is no, oh, thanks, Cindy. He said I'm very good at it. Thanks, Cindy. So build your network. LinkedIn Super Connector. Are you one? Do you know what one is? Good. If you know what a Super Connector is, say yes in the chat box. If you don't, say no. I actually don't ask this often, but I'd be interested to know if you know what a Super Connector is. Awesome. No. Hey, I didn't either. So we're all in the same boat here, which is fun. I didn't either. Someone had to share with me. But a Super Connector within the LinkedIn ecosystem, if you will, or stratosphere, whatever you want to call the darn thing, platform, is someone who's recognized in LinkedIn as having lots of connections. And we want to connect with Super Connectors because they'll expand our reach on LinkedIn. And I'm going to share with you how and why in a minute. Super Connectors networks span their reach across many different industries, fields, and geographic locations. And let me say it in another way. Super Connector networks span their reach across many different industries that I don't care about, fields that I don't care about, and geographic locations I don't care about. But guess what? Who cares? Because it's not about that. What LinkedIn Super Connectors are and why you want to connect with them, and by the way, you, is about the network going deep and going wide. See, because LinkedIn is broken up into kind of like almost like the Kevin Bacon thing. For some of you that know that, if not, go Google it. But 3 tiers of connectivity, 3 levels. Number 1 is your trusted friends and colleagues. That's called your first level connection. Matter of fact, if you go back into the search field that we talked about earlier, you'll see under advanced search, do you want to search your first level, your second level, whatever. Your first level is like your trusted friends, colleagues, or those that, you know well, or maybe know their face if you saw them as well out in public. It doesn't have to be that way, but for most people, the average person has 77 connections on LinkedIn today in their first level. 2 degrees away is what's called, or friends of friends is what's called 2 degrees away. And those are those connections to the connections we have. Make sense, right? So friends are friends, right? 3rd degree away is reach to other users through a friend and one of their friends. So 3 levels deep. The average person in LinkedIn has 77 first, which multiplies out to about an average 8,400. Now imagine you went to a party of 77 people, right? It was a networking party. That's a lot of people. Imagine you went to one that had friends of friends. That's 8,400 people. And another networking party that had 250,000 people, right? Huge. So that's pretty cool, right? So you put your LinkedIn out there and all of a sudden 245,000 people have access to it when they go searching for someone like you. But what about if you became a Super Connector? And Super Connectors are known for having 500 plus connections. Look at the amazing exponential difference going from 77 first level to 541 first level does to your 2nd degree and to your overall network. Now you're to 675,000. So we start going searching for those keywords. All of a sudden, we went from 8,400 in 2nd level to 675,000. But even bigger, friends of friends of friends, 47 million. This, folks, is why you want to know what a Super Connector is and connect with them, and then also become one, a Super Connector, that is. So That's number 4. You want to build your network. 7 steps to making the right connections. Woo, you got to speed this puppy up, man. I get so fired up about this stuff. 5, back up your contacts. Real quickly, I'm going to share with you how to back up your contacts. Now, keep in mind, there'll be a replay available for you as well that you can watch some of this at a slower rate. Number 1, you go into your network, then you click on your connections. Number 3, you're going to click on this little button that doesn't look like a button. It's called Manage Synced and Imported Contacts. Number 4, under Advanced Actions, you want to export specifically your contacts. Then it drops you into another menu called Getting a Copy of Your Data. You want to check on, I want specific stuff, which is why those highlights are there. And then you want to check Connections, and then you download an archive. LinkedIn sends you a nice little email that says, hey, thanks for checking in with us and getting your archive. It'll be ready for you as soon as possible. Of course, the more connections you have, the longer it takes, but it's probably less than 20 minutes at most. All right. Then you have this CSV file. This CSV file is what gets dropped into your computer once you download. All right. So when you download, you're going to get names, first and last, and email addresses at times, but you're definitely get first and last names. And the cool thing about first and last names is if LinkedIn would ever go down or crash or your profile got hacked or whatever, you spend all that time of building up your connections and working hard to build your connections that you'd miss that if you didn't have that downloaded. So I suggest you download it once every quarter. That's the point of me telling you about how to back up your contacts and how to make and keep the right connections. Number 6, it's about conversion. You're going to do all this work on LinkedIn. You're going to work on your keywords. You're going to apply your super duper secret strategy. You're going to do all this work. You might even hire me for coaching. You're going to invest time, talent, treasure, blood, sweat, and tears, all that stuff, and not to do anything with it beyond that. You want to convert. You want to use your profile to help you go to the next place in your career, launch a business, connect with clients, prospective clients, you name it. Conversion is critical. This guy here is determined to make that first down or get that touchdown. You need to see LinkedIn as carrying the ball for your career. Okay, yes, it's other stuff too. You need a team. There's no doubt. But when you're carrying the ball, you own it. Nobody can do LinkedIn for you but you. All right? Nobody can get the exposure for you but you. And you got to write your profile in such a way, which I'm helping you with tonight, in a way that's going to show conversion. Once you take your exposure, which means you made the right connections, you're out there, you're in search results all over the place, but now you got to have language in your profile that shows conversion to take the next steps, to get an interview, to have a phone call, whatever that appropriate next step is. And guess what, guys? This worked for me years ago when I wanted to leave a current job that I got bored in. I mean, I loved it, but I just got bored, you know? And I had my moments where I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Head in my hands, all that kind of stuff. I put on my profile all these things that I'm talking to you about tonight. And I put in there that I was open to new opportunities and I was seeking to serve and I had all this skill set in my passion zone. And that language got me hired. Why? Because that person actually called me on the phone from Spokane, Washington and said, Brian, would you be interested in becoming a national executive director? And I said, well, sure, I'd be interested in talking about it. And wouldn't you know it? A couple months later, interviewing with the board of directors, getting my wife involved, having the executive director, or excuse me, the board chair fly to Tampa. It worked, and it has made so much of a difference in my life. You have that opportunity available to you. Work on your LinkedIn. Not setting for second best. Putting language that converts in your LinkedIn profile will get you hired if you take advantage of tonight. Conversion is critical. Remember, people are relying on you. They're waiting for you to connect with them because they have a problem. You have the solution. Get fired up about that, folks. So you need a call to action, baby. You can have a call to action within your profile. It's the about section, by the way, that has you say, I'm available to you. Let's jam on these topics. Let's discuss these topics. Let me talk to you more about these opportunities, whatever the case may be. And then you put your phone number there, saying that you want them to call you or text you. Don't hem and haw. Put it in there, guys. I never once got called from my LinkedIn profile that was a spam message. And if you're a female that's concerned about safety, I get it. Guys get worried about that too sometimes. Get a Google Voice number. Or if you really have to, you really don't want to put your number, put your email address at least. Okay? One that you can check for spam too, because that's the opportunity. It can happen. You can go to spam, you miss it. So that's a call to action. Man, we're going over a lot, right? Isn't this awesome? Type awesome in the key box or the chat box. See, I'm so pumped up I can't even talk. Seriously, guys, this has worked for me. I just remember that phone call I got. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? You read that? And they did. So I want to set you up to serve as a super connector, guys. So good stuff. So once you're a super connector, you become attractive, right? We always set you up. You're going to seek to serve. You're not going to just take. You're going to give. And we know it's better to give than receive. This is not just going to help you build a network online. It's going to help you capitalize on offline opportunities. And once we come out of a COVID crisis, it's going to bless you. It's going to prepare you. You're going to go out, launch out of like Gonzo out of the cannon, man. I have 2 little kids. They love Muppet Babies. So there you go. You won't have to spend time networking like you used to. Each day in a week, people will be connecting with you. Remember the 2 main purposes. Super connectors. I want you to become one. I want you to connect with as many people as you can. But here's the cool thing. Go and start searching tonight for super connectors. How? I'm going to show you in a second. Super connectors display their email address. They make it easy to connect. They show on their profile that all invitations to connect are welcome. They want to connect. They're not going, well, do I know this person? I'm not sure. No, they want to connect. They get what I'm talking about tonight. Each day and week, people will be connecting with you. Do you hear that? Like today, I get connections every day. Yeah, some aren't the best of the best, but they got 500 plus. I don't care about what they're selling or what area they're in. I want the network. I want to connect with their network. Super connectors have 500 plus connections. You can search for all that stuff and start connecting with those people. Now, I encourage you to write a personalized message if you can, but you don't always have to, but it will help you. Place this stuff in your about section of your profile. Take a screenshot of this. Just replace my information with yours. You want people to connect with you? Say, connect with me using Brian at brianhorvath.com or Susie at susieholmes.com or Cindy at cindy.com, whatever it is. And say all invitations to connect are welcome. I never IDK. I don't know is what that means. And Lion, LinkedIn Open Networker. So I dare you, I double dare you, I double dog dare you. Go to your search button tonight and type in Lion and see what comes up and start connecting to those people because they're open networkers. They want to connect. Okay. So congratulations. Woo! We covered all 7 steps in less than 5 hours. So 7 steps. We covered them all. There they are. Now what? Your next steps. So we have the super secret strategy, seek to serve. We're going to help you know what you do best so you can serve those who need it the most. That's the super secret strategy. That's Super Mario style. We helped you with the keyword strategy. Know the power of keywords. LinkedIn lever. We taught you about relevancy, right? Remember the room we talked about, getting in the right rooms within the big room and the networking events or on LinkedIn. Help you back up your groups or create a group, back up your contacts and build your network, as well as help you with that conversion statement. Now, I have an offer for you. Of course, I do this for a living, guys. I want to help you go further. And one of the best ways you can do that, of course, is to hire me for coaching. Come on. You want to, you do because you love this stuff. You want to use me to help you. And of course, I love to work with you. I've had a chance to work with folks from CEO to business owner to marketing manager all across the country, to engineers, to CFOs, to folks that are excited and folks that are kind of, just ho-hum from New York to LA to London. I mean, it's been cool. So I have live coaching that I do. We do 7 steps customized for you in 7 steps on Zoom, helping you. Number 1, we did not create it tonight, but I will help you craft your own seek to serve strategy. 4 to 5 word keyword phrase. I'll draw it out of you. Trust me, we will not move on until we get that. I also will help you with a few surprise bonuses that will further help you maximize your profile, but also secure it. I'm talking about security. Okay. Here's what people have said about these coaching sessions. Lau already shared. He talked about a quick pace, but we covered everything. Karen said, I knew what I was doing and explained why. Edward said he was very courteous, friendly, knew what he was doing. I couldn't have asked for a better specialist. Brian is the best of the best. Thank you, Edward. And no, I did not pay him. Articulate, didn't waste time, and prepared. I will always be prepared. I'll have looked at your profile beforehand. I'll have come up with ideas. There's a little bit of pre-work that you'll do. This is not just some run-of-the-mill. We will get this customized for you. You'll be fired up about it when you're done. And I make it fun. I make it fun. This will not be boring. You are here for a purpose, my friend. You got something to do. I want to help you get more people to see that, and you connected with them to solve their problems, which means you get paid. That's a good thing. Improved their overall appearance, John said, but he said I improved his exposure to the LinkedIn community. Huge stuff. So again, the 7 steps, and you see the offer there on the screen for $147. That's it. Buy today. No, I'm just kidding. $147 is it, guys. This is it. You will walk out. Who cares about the profile as much as you will walk out confident? That's the difference. I'm confident in delivering this to you tonight because I've been doing it for so long, but I wasn't that way out of the gate. But when I got my profile worked on and I had a plan for my profile and I realized it wasn't my resume and it could be used differently, that's what you'll walk out leaving from after coaching with me. All right. You'll leave with hope, you leave with help, you leave with encouragement, and you'll be fired up for that next opportunity. Maybe you start chasing those dreams you've been letting loose and have been letting go of. It's time to let loose on those suckers. So you can book now. It's also in the offer there. You can book now at brianhorvath.com/LinkedIn coaching. And I have it available for you. I have a calendar there. You just pick a date and time as early as next week, and we can knock this out. It will be a lot of fun. It'll be well worth it. And if it's not, you get your money back. I'm not fooling around with this stuff. Life's too short to have someone dissatisfied. You're going to get, case in point, it's with the Publix. Buy one, get one on Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs is expensive. I love Haagen-Dazs. Go figure. They only had 5 of what I wanted. Was buy one, get one free. They didn't give me the discount on the other one. You're going to get all 6 here, guys. You're not going to miss out on something. You're going to get my best. I promise you that. All right. Now, here's the awesome secondary opportunity. It's called Done For You, where I help you not just get coaching, but I actually do the whole thing for you based on our coaching. So you get almost 2 hours with me working on your keyword strategy. I also make for you what's called word clouds. I won't even get into that tonight. I also help you. I'll back up your contacts for you. So if you hate technology and all that kind of stuff, I'll do it for you. I'll create your group for you based on your keywords. You also get 30 days of email support and more. Oh, and my great sense of humor and awesome display of technology wizardry, right? And that's for $197. So just for a small upgrade of $50 for $197, you get over 2 hours coaching with me and 30 days of email support and all these wham, doozies, flabloozles, whatchamacallits, right? So you get to have fun. And you can also do the same. Book now at brianhorvath.com/LinkedIn coaching. So if you decide you want to do 147, you're not so sure about the other, do the 147. You can come back to me later if you want to do the extra, and I won't take issue with that. We'll make it happen for you, okay? So let's do some Q&A, guys. I know there's a lot. I know we've gone a little longer in time, but I'm here for you. I want to give you the best of my best. I love doing this. It fires me up. I won't go to bed for another 5 hours, and it's not just a coffee, but it's because this is exciting, because this is a time to take advantage of the obstacles. They're also hidden as opportunities. So I want to help you do that. Type your question in the chat box, and I'll be glad to answer it for you here and for the benefit of everyone involved tonight. All right, so I'm typing something in here just to make sure y'all are still with me. Hey, it's Q&A. So let's get connected on that. Bueller. And if not, it's okay. You can still email me. Notice I gave you my email address. And of course, there's the coaching and all that stuff. So again, love this stuff. Here for you, here to help you. And do we have a chat question? Okay, here we go. Do you have any recommendations how to network when transitioning industries? Absolutely, Kimberly. I love it. A matter of fact, it's one of my favorite things to do for people is help them transition industries, because we'll go back to the foundation, right, at the core, what you do best. And that keyword phrase, once we come up with that, then we apply that to the rest of your profile. And that keyword phrase will be a blend of what you did best and enjoyed in your previous opportunities you served in, and apply that with the other keywords that target where you want to go next. So we'll find common across both where you are, where you have been, and where you want to go. And we'll build on that kind of like Legos, right? And just building them together. And then we'll add some extra commentary into your profile that shows that even though all your jobs or many of your jobs may have pointed you to the next step being, well, that industry. Now we'll help you transition that with certain verbiage. But some of the ways to do that is you can simply say, I'm looking to leverage all the skills I learned in XYZ industry and go towards this kind of industry. You just want to tell people. And again, if you put that in a keyword strategy in a way, then that's going to link you up with those people that are looking for folks like you. So again, that's keywords are huge, both in your profile body, your LinkedIn recommendations, your LinkedIn skills, and all those things, as well as your past and previous titles. And then, of course, that group you can create that even talks about that new industry you want to work in. Again, helps you with that point value. Cindy, do you think nonprofits are harder to connect with than corporate, specifically faith-based nonprofits? Okay, so I know about that very well because I've worked for multiple nonprofits and multiple corporate industries, and some grabbed a hold of LinkedIn and some didn't. But it's interesting you say that because more and more today, I'm finding more and more folks within maybe ministry, if you will, coming on board with LinkedIn. Doesn't mean they're like, that's what they use every single day, okay? But remember, you are the controller of your destiny with regards to what you do with your profile. And so you always want to use it as a way to point people back to your highlights in your career. So for example, if some folks don't have how do I put it? They're not technology driven or they're not technologically savvy. LinkedIn can operate almost like your own website for yourself. You can upload media, you can upload documents, you can put links up there, pictures. So let's say you wanted to connect with a nonprofit, Cindy, that may benefit from seeing pictures in a nice kind of compact spot, right? That's what that can serve as, your own like website. And that helps you bridge the gap to share with people what you do or have done in ministry when you don't have your own website. Or maybe they're not going to see that all in your resume like they would in your LinkedIn profile. As long as you point them to that and show with what they're looking for on that, then it's up to you to call that out to action. It's that call to action for you. Hey, you want to look at my LinkedIn profile, Mr. and Mrs. Hiring Manager for our nonprofit, and then you make sure you have that stuff all staged. Okay, that's stuff that's also you talk about in coaching or other webinars. So, great question. Hope that helped. So, you got it. You're welcome, Cindy. So, guys, here we are. It's 8:07. We've been on for about 67 minutes. And I just want to thank you again for being here and invite you to go to my website and check out the coaching and consider hooking up and connecting so we can help you apply this today. Because let's be honest, folks, 7 steps would take you a lot of time if you piecemeal it. I can help you knock it out in less than 2 hours, depending on what coaching session you want to go with. Let's stop hemming and hawing and let's start getting after this thing and making the right connections. I'd love to help you with that. So God bless you guys. Have a great, great night. And thank you for taking the time with me. Again, an investment you made for me as well. See ya.